Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming. We have some people that aren't here yet. They signed up that they'd be here. Too bad, so sad. They're going to miss the opening. All right, I'm Candy Walsh. I'm your host today. Um, First of all, and I need to also do the same thing. Silence your cell phone and Zoom. And Zoom participants, please mute. And when you have something to say, we have a chat feature. Anyway, moving on. What I'd like to talk very briefly about is Raise Right. How many of you are enrolled in Raise Right? Raise Right? Okay. All right. I am going to talk about just a couple of things. Curious minds want to know, I think. So, did you know that in 2025, Raise Right has helped over 15,000 organizations raise more than $35 million? That was just last year. You know how much we made last year? $925. And what we have so far this year is $323. And I'm going to mention a couple of things that we can do that might boost that. How I use Raise Right, I buy gift cards. Yes, we go out to eat. In fact, I like this story in particular. I had taken my girlfriend out to dinner. She wanted to go to the Cheesecake Factory. So we're there, and I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if I could get a gift card right there at the table. I bought a gift card. I was able to use it right then and there. I thought, how cool is that? I also buy them for gift cards for Amazon gift cards for birthdays, weddings, graduations. I mean, it's the time of year. I also learned about something that probably the rest of you knew about, I didn't know about, and that was the dining out feature that they have. It is so cool. So cool. You have to take a credit card that you want to use, that you will be using at that restaurant, at a restaurant in their list of restaurants, and you post it within the system. And keep in mind that they are using a security feature. It's called Plaid, same thing that Venmo uses. So there's it's an intermediary between you and your bank account, so you can rest assured that things are safe. When you use your card at a restaurant in that list, the village will earn 5% of your total bill. Probably not the tax, but tip, alcohol. How cool is that? And the most cool part of it is if you're using a card, like I use my Costco Visa card because of all the benefits, I still get all those benefits. Doesn't take away from my benefits. And probably the most cool is that Keg and Bottle is one of those restaurants. Did you know that? I know, that's really cool. All right, so moving on. We are going to meet someone kind of special who has information that we all need to have. And if you don't remember it, we'll have flyers or pamphlets. And I'm sure Bradlyn and her committee is going to know a lot about this as well. And if we run out of time on the question part, Elizabeth has agreed to stay after if you have some questions that you want to ask her. So, Elizabeth Garcia is the Business Development and Marketing Manager for Naviguide San Diego. That's a program of elder help dedicated to helping older adults and families, excuse me, navigate the complexities of aging with confidence. She works closely with caregivers, healthcare partners, and community organizations across San Diego County to connect families with practical support and trusted resources. Elizabeth is deeply committed to community service, with ongoing involvement in South Bay initiatives that support children and families, including youth-focused programs and local food distribution efforts. Her work is rooted in a strong belief that real impact happens through relationships, access, and showing up for people when they need guidance most. So, without further ado, help me welcome Elizabeth.
Well, I better do well after that type of opening, right? Thank you so much for having me. Really excited to be here. I was able to be a part of the event you just had a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely amazing. Such a great feeling of community and unity. So that's really why I wanted to be here today. So again, as she mentioned, I'm with Naviguide. We are a division of Elder Help. How many of you are familiar with Elder Help? Yes, and so we are a division of them. The purpose of Naviguide is literally to help families or caretakers or caregivers or independent people navigate through the system. How many of you love open enrollment? Right, nobody loves open enrollment. How many of you love when you don't know what to do with your benefits, but you heard there was something covered? How many of you love when the salesperson doesn't tell you what's included in your policy? That's why we're here. So I love to find out what's in your policy and what is due you. And I also love, especially for those of you who are vets, thank you so much for your service. To the families who have supported them, thank you so much for their support. There are so many benefits within the VA that a lot of us don't know about. There's literally 13 programs, and my job is to know all about them. So obviously, this is just some of the services. We actually work, it's super multifaceted. So I want this to be a conversation. So again, at the end, I will allow for questions, but I'll just tell you stories along the way to paint the picture, okay? So one of this is talking about, we do individual care management plans. So how many of you have ever had a friend, or maybe you yourself had an accident at home or somewhere, and they told you had to go to the hospital, and then they had you go to the rehab, and then you had to go home, and all the help stopped, right? Yes. So care management, I get to help you figure out what benefits are within your insurance plan and or what you may be qualified for because of a diagnosis that will allow caretakers to come in. The goal is, of course, at no extra cost to you, but even if there is a cost, for example, how many of you have Kaiser? I have a company that I work with for caregivers that give a discount to Kaiser members. It's wonderful. So it's knowing those type of inward things, right? Another thing we do, we schedule services like transport, food delivery, chores, in-home care. I have a gentleman right now. His spouse, unfortunately, her health has taken a hard left. And I went to meet with him and I said, well, what is the biggest concern? He said, Elizabeth, I never learned how to clean the baseboards. And I thought, you don't need to clean the baseboards. We'll find someone to do that for you. So something as simple as that we help him with. We insist on exploring different living options. We definitely believe in aging in place. A lot of what we do when we do an assessment is we'll go in, and although we are there to hear what's going on, we also are looking around to what's going on. An example of that is I went into a person's home, again, a person who had decided to play slip and slide on his stairs, and he ended up in rehab, had a really hard time, came home on a walker, which is wonderful. We were continuing with OT and PT and all that great stuff. What we did to keep him motivated was explain to him, you fit in the hallways with your walker, but if you don't do your PT, the wheelchair won't fit. And so we have those hard conversations and we make plans. Okay, family, this is what we're working with. Do we want to, and we want to help families before they're in the fire, right? There's nothing worse than being ready to bring home your loved one and you don't have a ramp to get them in the house, right? Unfortunately, they don't sell the ramps at the Walmart, but I do know where they sell them. And so we would coordinate all of that. We definitely arrange senior companionship. So not everybody needs a caregiver, but one of the number one things that is stated in this year's statistics is the number one thing that causes people to fall ill is isolation. It's wonderful that you're involved in the village. You're definitely adding to your health. Navigating health options and insurances is probably the biggest thing that we help people with. How many of you know somebody with dementia or Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. There are some beautiful programs that are here in California now that are specifically for that care. And the beautiful part about that is we don't just assume you want to be in there. We sit with you, we talk to whomever's helping you or helping the person make the decisions, and we explain the different programs, answering the different questions, giving you the pros and the cons in plain English, and all decisions are left up to you. A lot of what we're looking at when somebody is receiving a challenging diagnosis sometimes is they think there is no resources. They think, oh, it's all downhill from here. And that doesn't have to be the case. How many of you know somebody who is a VA vet and fought for our country or signed up to be a part of our wonderful military? Anybody? Wonderful. If a person was a part of the military, and let's say they got a diagnosis of dementia or Parkinson's, we all know that they get a caregiver. So you can usually get a caregiver for about 4 hours a day. Did you know, especially for the loved ones that are taking care of this person, the vet is also allowed to have what they call adult daycare. So you can have your loved one go and have physical therapy. They can go there and have the socialization. They can have occupational therapy while they're there. It's a hidden benefit within the VA that we have unraveled and are helping our vets get into. So again, we're navigating everything for you. Of course, connecting with benefits and services. There are so many services that are out there. Obviously, what we like to do is lay everything on the table, and then you get to pick what you like or what you need help with. Caregiver support. So yes, we are a monthly subscription. So here's the thing. How many of you guys have ever heard of a medical manager? Does anybody know what that is? Yes, a medical manager is really expensive. So we met with a couple medical managers. So we are just that. We're care management, right? We take care of the things that need to be managed. A normal care manager would charge you an hourly rate plus a retainer. We are $189 for 30 days. So let me give you some examples. There's no minimum of how long you have to be signed up for. If you're done with us, you're done with us. If you have us for a while, which we have, I have a gentleman who his brother called for him to get a caregiver because he took a fall. We got him a caregiver. He was doing better. He let go of our services. Brother let go of the caregiver. He took a fall again and then was moved into a rehab, and brother didn't know how to navigate. So we looked at the bills and I said, well, why on the bill does it say can walk 400 feet? He just took a fall. And they said, well, we had to discharge him. I said, well, if he can't walk, he can't bear weight, how can he walk 400 feet? And nobody could answer. And that bill was reversed. And so again, as Naviguide, although they were calling me for a caregiver, I was looking at everything. Like, why is there a bill? Why is it outstanding? What happened? What's the story? And so that's what we did, like, for him. I have another one, young lady, super sweet. Her mom was diagnosed with dementia. The doctor gave her the diagnosis, didn't explain there's different levels, didn't explain what to expect, just said, we'll see you back in a month. And the daughter just kind of sat there. And mom is looking at her like, I'm fine. And she is fine. She's still in her, she can still make her own decisions. But daughter didn't realize that this, unfortunately for her mom, was going to progress really quickly. And so when we got her as a client, I was able to help her do all the paperwork that was needed, have the hard conversations to figure out what mom wanted. And we were able to get her onto an insurance program that was all inclusive. And it wasn't any additional cost in the sense of insurance. And so we literally are doing everything from paperwork to navigating care to unraveling the fact that you were a dependent, maybe you were married to somebody in the military at the time, and maybe you're not any longer for whatever reason, and what benefits are still due you. So obviously Naviguide really is just there to help with the process. So this is what I really like to point out. So Elder Help, all of you guys who are familiar with Elder Help, which we will talk about in a second, they are the low income, income-based program. You have to meet their requirements. Everything there is free. Everything has a wait list for the most part. I get to listen to them all day say, we're going to get back with you when an opening happens. We're in the same office. And then the care management is on the far side. Care manager gave me a really good example. She said, Elizabeth, I am like a firefighter. I go in, I put out the fire, and I leave. I don't know what to call you. You go in, you put out the fire, you go back and put the furniture. And that's literally what we do. And so Naviguide in the middle, as you can see, we are here for the adult children or the caregivers. And or again, we have individual clients. We have no wait list. We can assist with anything in reference to dementia. We coordinate with seniors, families, and caregivers. We love to be a referee. No, just kidding. I have two sets of brothers. One fell ill. They're both equal owners of a property that the family gifted them. And they're having to make hard decisions because one brother wants to pool to take care of himself, and the other brother's like, absolutely not. At the end of the day, we don't make the decisions for them. We just show them pros and cons. For those of you who are in that position, I encourage you not to split it 50-50. It makes it really hard for the family. Obviously, we have tons of growth. We are self-funded. So that 189 is literally to self-fund the program. We are still considered nonprofit. We are under Elder Help. And as you can imagine, being on the phone with Medicare for one client 4 hours a day to turn around and activate everything, if you were to pay a care manager and admin, it would be way more than 189. We are available after hours. We have like a helpline that you can call. Like, so let's say one of you is a client and God forbid you're in the hospital and you don't know what to do, or you need an advocate, you need somebody to advocate for you, they can call the after hours and we'll take care of it for you. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse, unfortunately, but obviously they're all in our wheelhouse. We have everybody on board. We are considered non-emergency. So the biggest difference you're going to see is Elder Help has non-emergency assistance. We're the same way in regards to Naviguide. A care manager, usually those are more clinical. They're usually RNs, they're usually physician's assistants, and so they take care of that. I know you guys look all serious, and I'm so sorry it's such a serious subject. Elder Help, I just put a couple slides up. I know a lot of you are super familiar with them. Elder Help obviously has been in the industry for over 50 years helping our community. Again, they help with the social services. They have home and safety, fall reduction. They have like a grab bar program and things like that. Those, again, are of no cost, just a wait list. We do have like where you can do a roommate for those of you who maybe have extra bedrooms and wouldn't mind somebody. They have a great vetting system. It's wonderful. They also have mental health support and the food insecurity program, making sure everybody gets food. We do happen to be in the Meals on Wheels building, so if you are ever interested, you can always come by. You can see all three of our offices all under one. Again, here's the contact information. So I know I talk really fast and I apologize, but I wanted to be able to leave time for questions. So the number one question I ask when I go to things like this is, what is your biggest pain point? What is your biggest concern? Are there places that are happening in your life where you have a question where maybe we can see if we can address it? We're not going to problem solve in public, but where I can give you a general idea. Yes.
I have a question. My dad's a veteran,
Mm.
and we can never get a hold of them.
We can never get a hold of the VA. Can never. No one ever answers.
Yes.
Is it only if you have dementia
No.
that you can get help for
No.
4 hours a day?
Not at all. That's what they call a respite benefit. The reason why I pointed out the dementia one is because so many people, especially those who have served our country, have some type of interaction with that. And what they've done is they've hidden benefits inside of it. I don't know how or why they would do it this way. They'll get respite care, and then we can pool for other benefits for occupational therapy, physical therapy. But to address the bigger issue is because there's 13 programs within the VA for a person to qualify for benefits. A lot of times what happens is because there are companies out there who charge hundreds of dollars to do your paperwork, which again, we don't. They on accident will sign up for the wrong program. And so you really need to be able to work with somebody. And one of the questions we'll ask is, were they enlisted at the time of war? Not if they went to war, but were they in, because there's a different benefit for that. And so anything that's applicable, we start checking them all off, and then we apply for all of those.
So how does he get help if he lives in another city?
You email me and I send you the resources I have. I only have San Diego right now. We are only based or serving San Diego. We are looking to expand, but the great thing about something like that is I can always just look up the state and then send you the resources. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, are you associated in any way with Southern California Resource Center?
No, I'm not. I am speaking there, I believe, tomorrow, if I believe my calendar is right. But
Really?
we are affiliated with we service the community, literally. So we go to different events, we present in different places. I was just sharing, this is the most unsalesy sales job we get to have. Unfortunately, we have to charge for the program because we have to spend time. A lot of times we're going places to file paperwork to do things. But this really is, what is your challenge? Let us walk with you. Especially if you're the decision maker or the caretaker, it's really hard because your feelings are involved and you're probably exhausted for caring for the person. And then now you have to make decisions that you can't even pull the resources for. So that's what we do.
I'm curious about the subscription fee. Is
Sure.
that a per person, per household, what?
It's per client.
Per
So
client.
let's say you're a dad, right? You want to do some, I know he couldn't, like if he was in San Diego, you could be my client and I would be working for you, but we're servicing your dad. So however that looks for you. Because some people still want to be the main contact person. I have a gentleman now, I'll be going to see him tomorrow. He is moving from the hospital to a rehab, and we have to have a hard conversation because he can stay at home, but we have to make sure all his benefits align. And so it's letting him know you don't have to go to a facility, which is what everybody's talking about because that's the known answer. But so much of the answer is occupational therapy and physical therapy can come to your house. And if you run out of benefits, let's say you have physical therapy and all of a sudden the visits are done, that doesn't mean we can't get more. I just have to go back to the doctor and ask them. Because unless you've returned back to what you were before you originally had that diagnosis, excuse me, hiccups, we can ask for more time. Yes.
The fee that you posted there covers your overhead, if we would. Let's say that you have a client who needs transportation or someone to take them to a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
How does the fee scale work that way?
So the best way I can describe it is we don't do the doing. I put you in contact with the ones that do it. So again, for example, for those who are Kaiser members, I'm always going to ask, who's your insurance carrier? What are we doing? Because in every insurance policy, it's totally different. Or what other things are you a part of? Do you have long-term care insurance? All of that good stuff. But if you needed transport, to be honest with you, I'd probably talk to you about a companion that can do some light companionship, take you back and forth. It'll usually be with the caregiving agency. How many of you ever put in a request for a caregiving agency and your phone doesn't stop ringing? It's horrible, right? The good thing is that all of the people that we work with are vetted. So what does that look like? We're not going to just give you somebody who isn't licensed correctly, somebody who can't pass audit. We have relationship with them. So anybody that we're putting you in contact with, we're going to talk to them about you, what your needs are, what your budget is. We give you 3 options. You pick who you want. So if there's an additional cost, you would absorb that.
Just to follow up on that, you mentioned you put them in contact with someone else if they need transportation, but I had heard from another source, maybe erroneously, but that elder help provides transportation to seniors. Was that information incorrect?
No, that is correct. It's 2 different things. And what happens is people will call and try and work with elder help for a ride. If they don't have a volunteer that day, then unfortunately they can't meet that need. How does it work with us in transportation?
And in what way does Elder Help provide transportation to seniors? What's their system?
You
How
call, it's okay, you call the transportation line. So that very last slide, or you can take the pamphlet. You call that transportation line, and you let them know when you need the transport. And if they can get a volunteer for you, then they set that appointment up for you. It is donation based. You don't have to give them anything, but it's a free service. For that one, technically, yes.
Elder care is for low income families.
Yeah.
So anything that elder care does probably doesn't qualify for us. Sorry. I was asking about elder care is for low income families. This is an offspring of elder help.
Exactly.
And this is a case management sort of model. And they're the ones who pretty much set up what you need. And what I'm understanding is that you set it up for the person too.
Hmm.
So they just have to sit back and enjoy, so to speak.
Yeah, you get to sit back and pick. Right. And so
Yeah.
instead of you having to do all the vetting, we've already
But
done it.
there is necessarily some additional finance to this because it's a dollar, $189 a month for your services.
Yes.
And then if we want a caregiver for 4 hours a day, that's what we kind of decided in the care management model, then we would be paying the 4 hours.
Yes.
And we would have a choice about where we get, you'll give us choices
Yep.
about where we get the caregivers.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. So instead of you having to call the care company and saying, okay, my spouse wants a male, they have to do a transport, they have to be able to use a Hoyer lift, they have all the details, we do all of that. If they don't have a male, they're not even an option, right? If they don't know how to use a Hoyer lift, they're not even an option. The worst thing that happens and where you see injuries happen is people will hire a caregiving service. That person doesn't know how to transfer correctly or doesn't know how to use the Hoyer lift. And because you didn't know to ask that, they still bill for the service. And so we take care of all of that for you. You're a great recap. I got to take you with me anywhere I go. and I know that the model is different. The model is extremely different. Your village is extremely wonderful because all of you are having this conversation and it looks like no one's under duress, which is beautiful. Ideally, this is when you make the decisions. Not that you have to hire me, but that you know that God forbid something were to turn left, you have a resource, right? But what happens so much of the time is people set nothing up. How many of you have sat and
No, we have all the time in the world until we don't have time.
exactly
That's just how we manage life.
everybody? I know. I felt super convicted. I have a daughter who's 30, and I asked her, "Do you know who my insurance carrier is?" And she looked at me and said, "The blue one." Even myself, I've had to take my own advice, right? Because how can your children make, or whoever you're leaving your responsibility for that, how can they make those decisions for you if you never talk about it? I didn't tell her who my doctor was. I mean, she has my card or she has access to my card, but my doctor's not the same as the one on my card, right? Any other questions I might be able to answer?
Okay, as you're finding your resources,
Yes.
how do you go about making your resource, like what companies do you vet in order to be, say, caregivers?
Sure.
You know, you're obviously pulling from those companies. Is there a discount because it's like you're giving them work? Is there a kickback or
Thank
something?
you. That's such a good question. Yeah, you can't even buy me a coffee. We don't take any kickback. So, like placement, how many of you have ever heard like people get paid to help people find a long-term place to live? I have a couple of people that we've had to move, and one of them asked me for I don't remember what the number was, my something something paper, and I was like, "What is that?" And she was like, "So we can cut your check." And I was like, yeah, we're not allowed to do that. So thank you for bringing that up. We don't get any kickback. They're not even allowed to buy us a coffee. I'm also not allowed to buy them anything. If they are part of our resource list, is because they've gone through a vetting process. And our vetting process is pretty long. And to be honest with you, for those of you who don't know, I work for Deb Martin. She's extremely very specific as to who we can work with. If they're not people who give back to the community, if they're not people who are in good standings with the community, it doesn't matter if I like them or not, we're not allowed to use them. So do they give us discounts? I do have a company who says if they are a Naviguide referral, they do have a different price base for us, just because that's what they want to do. And we just extend that to our client. It's his good business.
One more question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to say this. About the references.
Sure.
You know, you obviously are doing people who are licensed to be caregivers.
Absolutely.
They go through certification.
Yep.
They get renewed. You keep track of all of that in
Yes.
addition. Okay, now on your chart a while back, you said that the differentiation between elder help, your help, and care manager.
Sure.
You know, and then you brought the example of the Hoyer lift.
Yes.
Now, I think a Hoyer lift kind of moves, and maybe I'm wrong, into medical issues here, just like trying to change a catheter or something of that nature. And that would not be a regular caregiver.
So
It's a medical caregiver.
it depends, because there is a Hoyer lift that it does move and it goes over the bed and it lowers with a it's not like a crank. It actually lowers for you and sustains the weight. It's a two-person transfer. So if the spouse or child or somebody lives there, they can be the second person and their job is to hold it. But again, that's something that we would work out with the caregiving company. In regards to a catheter, you're absolutely correct. It has to be a nurse. So for example, I have a gentleman who is on hospice because that's how he could get his nurses covered. And so we have a caregiver out with him for only 4 hours a day. He doesn't need anything because he has family there. We have a nurse come out on hospice. Hospice doesn't mean he's passing. It just means where he's at with his diagnosis. And she changes his catheter. But we did that for him because the cost to have a nurse come over is right. And again, our goal is your goal that you would age at home. He doesn't want to go anywhere else. So we had to be creative in finding a way to get him what he needed. But you are correct. Catheter is nurse, 1,000, depending on the Hoyer lift.
1,000, what's
I mean, 1,000%. You're correct. It's probably what it feels like when they get the bill. Sorry. Yeah, no, you are correct. The catheter is medical, a Hoyer lift, depending on the model, and it is a two-person transfer. Even an RN or an LVN isn't going to use a Hoyer by themselves. They can hurt their back.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, another question.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're nothing to be sorry.
Yeah, this is my thing.
I love it.
What I perceive is that you, as a case manager, whether you're called that or not, whatever you are, you're trying to save the clients money. That's what I'm perceiving, is that you pay for that $189 a month. You get a service of, I'm going to try to find not necessarily the cheapest, but I'm going to try to save you money, because this whole issue is expensive. I mean, I'm telling people, frankly, don't go to a rehab, go home and hire a caregiver and because there are they can come to your house and do OT and PT.
Yes.
And a nurse can come and change catheters, or
Yes.
they can, change wound care and that sort of stuff.
So I would like to think that my job is to return back the quality of life to the family. Not only for the person that's being cared for, but usually the one who's caring for them, by the time I step in, they're exhausted.
Oh, but of course.
And
yeah.
flustered. And what they're worried about most of the time is, how long can we sustain this payment? So that is why I'm extremely, for lack of a better word, frugal. You're right. It's not going to be cheap. It's going to be the best. And the reason why it's the best is because unfortunately I've been in the caregiver spot. And so I know what it's like to love somebody to life and not know what to do. So that's, I think, honestly, why we serve the way we serve. So am I very conscious of what my client is getting? Absolutely. They should get the best care, and they should get the best care at a reasonable price. But honestly, what I love to do is to return their life to the best quality back to life. So if that means that they want to come home instead of doing the rehab, I agree. There's actually a program that we've just launched. They're now calling our area the Senior Hub, and it's called the Challenge Center, and they specialize in PT and OT, and they'll pick you up and they bring you. And obviously, if a person wants that option and they can physically do that, we can help coordinate that. You're right. We'll advocate for people to come home.
Actually, I did hear that you could have. I did hear that you could,
Mhm.
in a day program, have the OT and the PT, but I'm not quite sure where it is. Seems to me it was Jewish Family Services
They
did
do
that.
have it. Yeah. And there's a
But
couple
I don't
other
know all the, see, I don't know all the resources that you do.
Yeah.
That's the value of what your service is.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's yeah. So for those of you who don't know, and it is a great center, the Glenner Center. One, they're great with the community. The Glenner Center, they have a couple locations. I believe Encinitas. I know the one in National City, and they have one in Bankers Hill. They have amazing, amazing day centers. For those of us who are a little bit more social than physical therapy, they have that site. And for the other person who maybe has dealt with a stroke or needs to get some strength back in their legs, they have great physical therapy, and they work on all aspects of the person's health, including the emotional side of it, because it changes your life when all of a sudden you went from walking to not walking, or struggling walking and not giving it up, right? But yes, yeah. Any other questions? Okay, well, I hope you never need my help, but if you ever do, please feel free to reach out. I left some flyers, I left some cards. If maybe you have a question, but you want to ask privately, I am going to stay just to be able to answer anything. And then, of course, if you ever have questions, you're welcome to call the office or even come by. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That was a lot of information, and thank you, Bradlin, for all the questions. She came up with questions I didn't even know I had. All right, so Cassandra is out and about playing, but we want to know what Cassandra has been doing, or we want an update. And so our stand-in for Cassandra is Jenny. She doesn't look like Cassandra, but hey. I wanted to only come up here once. I said, can't I just do it all at one time? No. She said, no. And I kind of combined everything when I figured out what I was going to say. So I'm just going to have to wing it here. So I'm wearing two hats. Cassandra, she and her family are in Washington, D.C. for a well-deserved short vacation, and a wonderful learning experience for their son, Ian, who is studying all that right now. So she'll be back in the office on Wednesday. And in the meantime, Leslie's done a nice job answering the phone, I think. I'm pretty sure. Responding to phone calls and emails and keeping the front desk going. Let's see. So it'll have to do with Cassandra. This is the part that she wanted me to be sure and talk about. The fact that we've always been interested in helping our community in whatever we can, and helping the organizations within our community. So the two events that happen in May that we want to participate in, you have heard about if you've read the newsletter, and one of those was the open house at the fire station. That's the first to come. That's this Saturday, where you get to see where the firefighters live and train and respond to emergencies. They're going to have hot dogs and sodas. The Terrasana Foundation is putting this on, but I did get a call from Joyce, who is on the foundation, and asked if the village could support them in this effort by doing baked goods to go along with hot dogs and the sodas. So I have a list. Yes, Gunner.
Yeah, I hate to ask a serious question, but will we be able to go down the fire pole?
Gunner, never hurts to ask, you know?
Picture of that.
Yeah. So I know that some of you have already offered to do that, and I have a list of people who've already signed up to do that. But I'm going to pass it around in case somebody else would like to donate baked goods. They would like the baked goods like beforehand. It starts at 1, so at around 12:30. Claire and Ron Roberts have offered to be in front of the fire station. And if you are one of the people that are bringing baked goods, but you don't want to, obviously don't want to come at 12:30, if it starts at once from 1 to 3. So they will be in front of the fire station, and you can just drive by and hand them your baked goods, and they will take it in. And I'm not sure where we're going to put it, but maybe she said maybe on the equipment. I don't know, but that I'll check with Joyce and find out if they're going to set up a table in there for us, and that you would just hand them, walk in and put it on a table, and if not, you'll get an email from me or Cassandra, all of you who volunteered to bake with final instructions. But just know that you can. I know that Ron and Claire can be there. I know they can hand it, but where it's going to go, they'll need to know, and we'll find out.
If you need a table, I have a folding 6-foot table.
Yeah, well, we'll find out if it's going to be our responsibility or if it's going to be there for us. So we'll see. We'll find out. Any questions about the baked goods? Yes.
Are the baked goods individually wrapped so that
No.
Because are they for sale?
It's going to be through donation. There's going to be a place, it's like opportunity for people to make a donation as they walk through the open house and have a cookie or something, or a donut hole. And it doesn't matter. I think there was a note saying that maybe nut-free would be the best thing, but just in case. But otherwise, if you want to buy it or if you want to bake it, it doesn't really matter. Just some kind of sweet treat that you think people might enjoy as they pass through. And I'm sure they'll look at it and say, oh yeah, I want to make a donation. So that's one of the things I'm passing out. The other one also has to do with the community, and that's the May 16th Patriots Day Parade. Yay. I would have had pom-poms. I would have brought them. Yay. We love to walk in the parade, but there aren't very many people that have signed up. I have another sign-up sheet for that. And right now there are 4 people that have signed up, and I know that there's more walkers than that. I'm going to walk. I was asked to ride in a car, a convertible car, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to I asked Bradlyn if she would like to do that, because I can walk and I want to walk. But it's nice to have a car in front of us. And you'll see on the sign-up sheet that I pass around that there's a picture of Cassandra from last year with her cute little bottle that squirts bubbles at the crowd. It's so fun. There's a picture of Carol in here, and Marilyn, who have her holding the banner, and Marilyn's walking, and you'll see the car with Ken and Sue from last year. So I told Bradlyn to practice her wave. So it's really fun. And then after the parade, there's the craft fair, and Cassandra even talked about maybe we can go out to lunch at Keg and Bottle. I'm not sure what all of this, but we'll play by ear, but it'll be fun. So then in the evening, I think it starts at 3. I'm not sure, 3 or 4. 4 o'clock. Okay, is the Tierra Fest. They're going to have hot dogs and hamburgers. And usually the Junior Women's Club are passing out cookies. And it's a great time to be together for dinner. So Sue and I have talked. We're going to meet up there at 5 o'clock. And actually, we're going to go a little bit before that. But if anybody wants to come up for hamburgers and hot dogs and wants to join us, we'll have a table. And it's Tom's 80th birthday. I'm not baking a cake, but I'll have a bag of little he's an M&M person. He loves M&Ms. On his 40th birthday, he got 40 pounds of M&Ms from people. So in his 80th, no, I just thought that I'm not going to, because I don't know, I'll just grab people and say, come sing happy birthday to Tom. He's working that. He's doing the ticket stuff. So he's going to be working, but we'll have dinner, and then I'll just have little packets of M&Ms. Like, pass it on. That's it.
They also have a band.
and they're also having fireworks. So it's a really fun night to come support Kiwanis and the Women's Club.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to pass these two things. I know that Cassandra would want everybody to know that. And those would be the announcements she would make. And then when I come back up here, I'll give you more information about other topics. So kind of pass it all around. Here's the parade one. Here's, I'll start on this side with the bakers. Okay, so now committee corner. Marilyn, do you want to talk membership volunteers? Come on up. The fire. Hey. Hello and happy May. For membership, we're still at 148 members. We have one new member who joined just this week. Her name is Marilyn Tripp. I don't know if any of you know her, but if you know her, you might want to welcome her to the village. And if she's at any exercise classes or neighborhood group, please make her feel welcome, as I know you do with all new members. She's the 5th Marilyn in our association, by the way. We have Marilyn Milliken, Marilyn Licht, Marilyn Chatilla, Marilyn Benty, and now we have Marilyn Tripp. I think it's one of the most popular first names in our village. I do have some announcements about the Intergenerational Club at UCSD. We associate with them, and they have volunteered to set up 3 different activities for us this month. And the first one is this coming Wednesday, May 6th. I know it's short notice, but they had a hard time getting it all organized, and they just let us know, I think it was Friday, Fran, the final details. But they are having a Zoom chat, kind of like Carol Lee's chat group. Well, this is the university students are putting on a chat. It's going to be this coming Wednesday, the 6th, at 5 o'clock in the evening. It's 1 hour, 5 to 6. And the topic is careers. They are interested in how we chose our career path, what motivated us to go in it, and if we stayed in the same career, if we changed professions, because they're just starting out. They are students, and some of them have said they've already changed their major. You know, they're in microbiology and robotics technology and immunotherapy, things we never had. I mean, I didn't know about these things back in the 60s when I was choosing my career path. So anyway, it's interesting. They'll share what they are doing, and they want to hear about us. And as we age, do we change careers and so forth? So please join us. They really would love to have a nice small group of us. And right now there are 4 of us registered. The Zoom link is on the registration page, and it's listed under UCSD Intergenerational Group. The next activity they planned for us is on May 27th, and it's their book club. They do a book club every semester for us. It's at 6 in the evening, again on Zoom. And I've started the book that they chose. It's really cute. It's called Did You Find What You Were Looking For? And it's written by a woman who started out as a Hollywood script writer. And she's frustrated getting writer's block and so forth. So she takes the summer off to get another job. And she ends up working at a kind of a mom and pop store in Hollywood. So anyway, but it's a fun book to read. And they said if you don't read the whole book, even if you haven't started the book, you're welcome to come and talk about some of the themes that are in the book. So that's May 27th in the evening. And then on Saturday, May 30th, they're doing every semester, they do their tech help. And I know I'm looking around and I can see some of you that have really taken advantage of this one-on-one. They sit down with you one-on-one. It's going to be at Fran and Greg's house. And we gather around the dining room table, the kitchen table, the couch, the bar. We all gather around, and they work with you, whether it's your watch, your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, any kind of technology. It's going to be a Saturday morning, 10 to noon at Fran and Greg's. Unfortunately, because their house is limited, we have to limit the number. So right now, it is full. We already had 10 people sign up, but you can get a wait list. And so sign up on the wait list, and then if anybody gets sick or can't make it, we can fit you in. But this has been very popular, and they give of their time. These students, I mean, this is coming up on exam time the first week of June, and they're doing these activities with us. So we really appreciate it. And by the way, one of them, Lauren, one of the students who has helped us, she was able to come to our volunteer appreciation event at the yogurt place. So we were glad to see her there. I just wanted to tell you too, we have our prospective member happy hour coming up at the clubhouse, and it's going to be on May 20th. So invite any friends or neighbors, family members that you think might want to join our village or would like to have information about our village. And it's from 3:30 to 5:30 on May 20th. So those are my announcements. And as volunteer chair, I get to talk about the volunteer of the month this month. And this is a fairly new member who has really been working a lot with Cassandra in building our new logo, working on our new brochure with the new logo, working on our business cards, a very creative Ann Kellett. Ann, thank you so much. And her career has led her into creative projects, and she did a wonderful job with our new logo. So anyway, and we look forward to the final design when we see our new brochure and business card and so forth. So thank you. Yes, she's put in a lot of time and shared her talent. So that's important. Thank you, Ann. Okay. Well, I think we're going to hear from Bradlin again, Karen Wellness.
Thank you. Well, before I forget, we are having a sleep disturbance peer-to-peer, not this Friday, but the Friday after that. And if you have difficulties sleeping, you might pick up some new information, some new tricks, some ways of solving a problem that all of us seem to have from time to time. So please come. It'll be in this room from 1:30 to 1 to 3, 1 to 2:30. Yes, 1 to 2:30. How many of you watch Changing Subjects? I didn't make a transition, so I'm announcing it. How many of you watch Sunday morning on CBS? Okay, last Sunday they had a really interesting thing that caught my attention, which was, do you want to prevent a stroke? That happens to be one of my biggest fears, is that one day I wake up with a stroke and then I'd have to learn how to talk all over again. Oh my God. And eat and feed and dress. And I mean, of course, you always go to the worst thing that could possibly happen. You couldn't possibly have a mild one, but you have to have a worst one. So, and though, you know, when you have a stroke, if it's a bad one, it moves to dementia. And that's a difficult disease to have because you slowly, gradually go down. And so one of the things that the lady that they had on there, that's exactly what happened to her dad. He had a stroke and then gradually, and then faster and faster went downhill with the dementia part. And they talked about there are ways of protecting yourself so maybe you won't have a stroke. And that sort of went, oh, really? Wow, that's a nice thing to have happen. So I went and researched the tool that they talked about, which was the Brain Care Score by McCange. And there's lots of research on this tool. And it covers basically three different areas your physicalness. And a lot of those things are, I looked at this list and said, well, some of those things I really don't have a lot of control, but medication does change some of your blood pressure. So maybe there's hope in that. And the cholesterol thing and the how fat you are. I'm still trying to get out of my category, but it's really hard. Anyway, physical, and then there was lifestyle. And Cassandra, you know how finicky she is about how we eat. After all, I'm glad I'm not her daughter. But anyway, vegetables and fruits and protein and whole grains. And I went, oh, this is not too bad. I can handle it. I pretty much do all that already. And then alcohol, smoking. Well, I don't smoke anymore. I haven't for a long time. Aerobic activities and sleep. And if you can't sleep, you better come in the next 2 weeks to our thing. And then the last one was social interaction. And I can't tell you how important this village is to, if we didn't have this village, we would be isolated unless you have another major group that you participate in. But this group keeps you from getting depressed and isolated and anxious. And so all of these things, but I printed out for all of those of you who are like me, who want to see this and want to maybe change some of your things to maybe avoid having a stroke. I will leave it over here and you can pick it up on your way out. So they're free, no charge.
Are we done?
Question for Bradley.
Yes, ma'am. Stand up straight. All of you should stand up. We've been sitting forever. That's why my back hurts. Stretch your back out. Oh.
My question for you, Bradley, is it possible to get a replay of the 60-minute?
Yes, it's on YouTube. I looked on it today.
Okay.
Look it up. It's under CBS. And the whole thing is there. So if you want to see what I saw and you missed it, look it up on the YouTube.
You have Paramount Plus.
Oh, Sunday morning? Oh, what did I call it? I call it Sunday morning, but it's not called that? Oh, it's Sunday morning.
Yeah, what's that?
It was on Sunday morning.
Done. People who have Paramount Plus can pick up CBS day after go.
Yes, it plays Paramount. Yeah, Paramount Plus. I'll see how.
If you're a Walmart Plus member, you get Paramount Plus. Yeah. Okay. Anybody want to report on social? Social.
Well, what'd you think about that fiesta that we had Friday? Wasn't that wonderful? I want to thank Mark. He was there. Were you there before the sun came up? Putting up, getting all of the technical things, and he arranged all the music for us. And then Denise was the wonderful idea person of the that thing that we had, the piñata. We had a whole team that stuffed all those cute little baggies for you. And then I want to thank this food and the story of why the food was late. He was here, but he was here waiting for us, and we were down there. So that's why the 15-minute delay. But once he got there, my serving team got everything done. And we had what, about 60 people there? Everyone was served in 10 minutes. We went through, and then afterwards, I went out and helped put stuff away at the tables, forgetting that there was a mess in the kitchen. Walked back, it was all cleaned up. I have to thank Melinda McGlynn. I'm sorry she's not here, but she kind of got everyone all organized and then took the leftovers to the fire station. So we really had a wonderful team. The cookie bakers, people, they were all homemade, and people raved about them. So if, all of the people that did these things don't come to these meetings, but many of you are here anyway. Events coming up. We have casual corners where we just sit around, just a few of us are there, sit around and talk. That's May 18th. And we started, but we really never finished talking about what our first job was, either during high school or right out of high school. It was really very interesting. So join us on May 18th. What time, Ginny? Is it at 1 or 3? Oh, well, in between 1 and 3.
Suggested to do it later. We're doing it too.
And then our big activity for June is, of course, our favorite cornhole. That will be June 19th. So put it on your calendars now. And please, please, everyone sign up. We're still having problems with people waiting till the last minute to sign up. And then guess what? You're on a wait list and you can't come. So those are our activities coming up. What did I forget? Anything? I don't think.
Good job.
All right. Do we have a neighborhood groups report? No? Whoops.
Everybody's met.
How do you silence your phone or your watch? Okay, well, I do know that there's a Portofino and Barbados neighborhood group function this week. Thursday, huh? There's another one on Friday, and another one on Friday. And your group is? No. Which one? Wait. Right. You're Thursday, and who all is, what is your, no, what area is your group? Oh, get online on the events page, find out if it's your group. All right. So now I'd like you all to welcome our president.
Did everybody sign the big sign that wanted to?
No, you're not Cassandra.
Yeah. I don't know where the parade is. Oh, yeah, a few more people signed up. Who has to sign the walk? Did it go over there? Short. It's a very short walk. From the high school to the library.
They bring their dogs.
You can bring your dog. Yes. Yes. Okay. Sign it? You better.
Okay, President.
Okay.
Jeez.
Just a tidbit of national news, because I get emails from the National Village to Village Network all the time. And I thought this was interesting because most of you know our village was modeled after the very first village, Beacon Hill. And in fact, Candy and a few went over there. Candy and who all went? Candy
Susan
and Hep traveled to Beacon Hill in Boston and talked to those people and learned all about the village movement, and then came back here and started this grassroots movement here. And this year they're celebrating their 25th anniversary, and they've actually rebranded, kind of like we did. They have changed their name. It's no longer Beacon Village. It's going to be Boston Village. They've expanded beyond Beacon Hill. So several areas in the Boston area. So they're now Boston. So if you hear Boston Village being referred to, it's used to be Beacon Hill, same people that have organized it, but they've just gotten a little bit bigger. Well, this also was something Cassandra and I both wanted to share with you, and that was about the Living Well Resource Fair because it was a big success. She spent obviously endless hours communicating with partners and sponsors and thinking about all the details. We get mad at her. We got mad at her again this year. She needs a committee, and she ignores us. But there were a lot of people here helping, so it was a great team effort the day of the resource fair. We had 180 attendees, mostly from outside the village. The breakout sessions were a big hit, especially the one on scams, but both of them were filled. So Jonathan's was filled, and the one on from the FBI was filled, and a lot of good comments about that. And the sponsors and partners were pleased with the attendance and the people that came to talk to them. So everyone left happy, and we were delighted that our city council member Raul Campillo came. We didn't expect him to come. He had a busy schedule, and he popped in at the last minute and spoke to the group and actually spent about a half hour talking to the people, and came up to me and said that it was a busy day and then he had to rush home to help his wife do something because she had to be on a Zoom conversation, so he had to watch the kids. But it was really important that he be here because he really appreciates what we're doing in our community. So such a nice man, and we're very fortunate that we have his support because he can give us money through the city, and that's money. City money right now is really hard to get, so we're fortunate for his support. And Cassandra is excited to get back and now go full force in her list of tasks that are related to the member services implementation plan, so she can really focus on that now. Mark and his IT team are continuing to delve into the work that involves the converting our current website, Club Express, to Hopeful Village, and he plans to introduce the new homepage at our next general meeting in June. So I'm sure every chair in this room will be filled because we all want to know what our new website's going to look like. So that's that. And I just have to say, I look at the calendar and I so badly want to thank everybody that took a lead on something this last month. The appreciation thing, social turned out really nice at the yogurt place. We have so many wonderful things happening, and I still am perplexed when I haven't seen you sign up for the Friday Fiesta, and they go, what's that? And I said, it's this Friday. And I think, are you not reading your email? So I just want to encourage you to read the newsletter. Cassandra sends that newsletter out every month. Read the newsletter, and on the newsletter, you can click on the calendar and print the calendar, and then you can look at the calendar, and you can highlight what you'd like to attend, and then once you sign up, you check it off, so that you know you've signed up. And just take advantage of everything we have, because the more you involve, the more people you meet, and the more relationships you establish, and more fulfilled you will all be. So that's it.
Good job. Yeah.
All right. So our next moment in time, and I'm trying to figure out, I know, are you our village vocals? Are there others here today too? Yes. Okay. Birthdays and anniversaries, ladies. Okay. Birthdays for the month of May. We have Donna Doby, who is May 10th. And, she's not been very active at all. She hardly leaves her home. So if you get a chance, send her a card or give her a text or an email or a phone call. I'm sure she would appreciate that because she's been a long time member, and she used to volunteer a lot for different things when she was healthy. So as her health has been declining, but I'm sure she would appreciate that. So Donna Doby, yeah. Denise Greger is the 11th, and she's one of the ones who worked very hard on the fiesta.
Gail Wilson is May 12th. Tom Van Benthuysen, the husband of our president, he's the first man, I guess. his is 5/16, and Ginny just said he's going to be 80. Yeah, okay. Greg Zweibel on the 21st. Greg, okay. Delise Konensbach is the 22nd. I just found out she and her husband are leaving tomorrow. Yeah, again, for Japan for 2 months. 2 months in Japan. So she'll be celebrating her birthday in Japan. And then we have one anniversary. Tom and Arlene Hitchcock are celebrating their. Is she there? Okay, so happy anniversary, Arlene and Tom. Okay, so we will sing happy birthday.
We don't.
Lori is not here today. I think she's online with Mike,
Yeah.
but she wasn't feeling up to coming today. So we are going to sing without our crazy hats. You can imagine. Okay, so happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, dear villagers. Happy birthday to you and many more. Okay. Thank you.
Get that?
So now we have the time for other announcements and remarks. Are we still gathering after the meeting? Linda, are we still gathering after the meeting?
Round table where we always go. Like every month we get more waiting.
Ken and Sue may be there. They're packing, they leave for Maine tomorrow.
Oh,
And, so but they said Ken said, I really don't want to fix dinner, so maybe we'll go. I don't know if they'll show up or not, but they said.
It's all at this afternoon.
that would be nice. Do you have any?
I have one quick announcement.
Okay.
Look at all the non-perishable food we have for the food bank this month. So I do need my volunteers, some of you volunteered maybe 3-4 months ago, to carry it down the left here and down around to the sanctuary. There's a big barrel to drop the bags of food in. So if some of you could help carry it down there, much appreciated.
Okay. And Jenny, I know you have something you want to talk about.
So I am constantly fixated on transportation these days. And we had 2 meetings in April, a general member meeting and then a member to member meeting about what you can do if and when it's not so convenient to get in your car and head out to wherever. So I have some leftover handouts that I can put on the desk if any of you want them. The county put out something about a year and a half ago called Ride Well to Age Well that has all sorts of profit and non-profit options for getting a ride, Uber, Lyft, Jewish Family Services, Elder Help, lots of different places you can check to try to get a ride. And there's even a section in the back about how to load transportation apps onto your smartphone. So that's available. I'm trying to encourage people other than me to consider taking a bus or trolley just for the experience. And so tentatively, a week from tomorrow, the 12th of May, I'm going to check to see if maybe we could meet at Vaughn's and go out to Kearney Mesa and have lunch somewhere and come back. So I'll have a little form if any of you want to fill that out.
On a bus or on a trolley?
On a bus. So Kearney Mesa is the local bus. Yeah, Jenny?
Yeah. For my granddaughter, for a gift, we got season tickets to the Civic Theater. And so I'm very proud of myself for doing this. I put Pronto on my phone. I put money on it, on my phone.
Yay.
Took the trolley and it drops you off right at the Civic Theater. And we got all the trolley and walked right into the Civic. That was a great way to go there.
All right. Yeah.
What line was it?
The blue line.
The blue line. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Where you're coming from?
That's true. Well, we actually, they live in Claremont, so we got on the Balboa.
Oh.
Oh,
over
okay.
there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other Padre people this Sunday.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of parking and it's so easy to do that.
Yay.
Great.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. All right. I'll stick stuff on the end.
Thank you.
Do we have any other announcements?
We're early, huh?
Can you believe it? The whip worked. No. I want to thank all of you for coming. And I would like you to, if you have questions for Elizabeth, she's going to be here for a few minutes. Otherwise, make sure you get over to Round Table. Did you have a question? No. And let's see, take a few minutes. We're all here. Mingle. Say hi. Thank you. And you can turn your phones on.
I was just waiting for you to come this way.